beings from order of the grid. We are back with yet another episode where we connect with the people who make difference to society, stand out, and are a source of inspiration to us all. My name is Prathamesh Masurkar. Today we are having a special guest with us all the way from London, UK. He's playing for the Japan's Youth International. He also currently plays for the club football for the Blackburn Rovers in the championships. He has also represented the Japan under 19 team at the 2022 Maurice Revello Tournament. Please welcome Jay Haddow. Hi Jay, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much for having me on.
Welcome to the show. It is a great privilege to have you on our show, and plus thank you for taking your time as well.
No, I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
All right, so let's get started. Tell us about your childhood days. What were you like as a kid growing up?
So I was born in Hong Kong. It was 2004. And for my first 12 years of my life, I lived in Hong Kong. And as you know, Hong Kong is a very international city. So there's a lot of foreign people like myself. Both my parents, my dad's from England and my mother's from Japan. And they both ended up working in Hong Kong, and then they met. So my first 12 years of my life was growing up in Hong Kong in the little island that we lived on, and playing football locally. I would say up until maybe the age of 8 or 9, I was playing local football with my local teams. And then probably from the age of 9, I joined the biggest club in Hong Kong called Kichi. Yes. And Kichi have a youth academy, and I was there for about 3 years playing. And for me, Kichi was fantastic because I was playing at the highest possible level for my age in the country I was in. So I developed so much in those 3 years, and it really gave me a taste of what maybe like academy football in the UK is like, because that's the most it can sort of replicate in Hong Kong. So yeah, I spent 3 years there in the end before moving to the UK when I was 12. When I moved to the UK when I was 12, I moved by myself. I went to boarding school over here. So my parents and my younger brother were still in Hong Kong. And yeah, soon after I signed for Blackburn Rovers, and that was at the age of 12.
Interesting. So when did you start playing football? As a kid, did you always wanted to become a footballer, or was that something else different that you fell into it?
I mean, my dad was always a big football fan. So when I was younger, he always, he got me the national football tops, the T-shirts, always had a football around. So I was always sort of within football. Maybe I started playing football, maybe when I was 2 or 3 years old. But what I thought, seriously, I want to try and do this is maybe around, like I said, 8 or 9 years old when I left my local team and joined the biggest team in Hong Kong. That was the first sacrifice that I made, was to leave all my friends that I knew from home. And the second biggest sacrifice I made, which is probably bigger, is when I left Hong Kong to come to UK to try and pursue football. So I knew probably from the age of 9 that I wanted to take things seriously, but obviously when I came to the UK, I took things to a different level of seriousness.
Interesting. So did your father or your parents have played, your brothers have played football before?
My younger brother played a little bit. He still plays a little bit now for school, but my dad also played a little bit, growing up, but and also for his local team in Hong Kong. But no, nothing professional or serious.
Interesting. How is it like playing for the Blackburn Rovers? And first of all, I would like to congratulate you getting your first professional contract as well. Heartiest congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Right. So how is it like playing for Blackburn Rovers? What's the experience all about?
I mean, right from the start, when I joined at age 12, it was a big eye-opener because, this is, Category 1 academy football in the UK. So Blackburn Rovers is a Category 1, holds a Category 1 academy, which means that it's at the highest level in terms of categories. So every week you're playing against teams like Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Everton. So every week I'm playing against the best players my age in the UK. So for that, in terms of development, is fantastic. So you learn much quicker when you play against better players. Obviously, the club itself, obviously it's run like obviously a professional club would be. And that was great for me as well, because I had to learn how to look after myself, how to get into a proper process, and even a professional mindset from a very young age. They encourage you to get into that mindset. Obviously, the last few years, I've obviously gone full time I went full time with Blackburn when I was 16 years old. After I left school, we did 2 years scholarship, and the whole point of a scholarship is basically you get paid to be they call a scholar, but you're basically playing football full time every single day, and you're living life as a professional. But you're playing the under 18s Premier League, and the standards are very, very high. The work rate is very, very high. So you're basically it's an introduction to professional football. Obviously, I got given my professional contract in the past summer, and but the main thing about having a scholarship is you're already prepared for professional life. So this season is yes, there's more. The standards are higher. The level of is higher. The opposition level is higher. The pressure is more, but you still feel the same way as you were over the last 2 years because you've been prepared.
Interesting. Did you got a chance to train with the senior team as well in the training?
Yes, definitely. Last season and this season as well, we've been able to train with the first team as well. I think especially like the day after a game, we'll play with the players who are on the bench or not in the squad. So we'll train with them. Or sometimes before a game, before one of their games, we'll go up there and help mimic the opponent. So if the opponent is playing a unique style, then we'll go up and fill in to create an 11v11 scenario for the first team to prepare against their opposition.
Interesting and awesome. So what is like growing up and you wanted to represent the Japan? What is that?
I think Japan's always been, I've always supported Japan in the World Cup. Obviously, for me, Japan's just always held a great place in my heart. I love going to Japan. I've got lots of family in Japan. Obviously, my mother's Japanese, but I've always really wanted to represent Japan. So being able to have finally represented them at youth level was honestly a dream come true. It's been something I've been working for a long, long time. But when I did go away, I tried not to feel distracted by thinking, "Wow, I'm here." I made it clear to myself that look, I'm here, but I need to keep on working hard. I need to make sure I earn my spot here, and make sure I'm working hard and not letting the occasion take away from me. So it was a fantastic experience. I've always wanted to play for Japan, so finally being able to put that jersey on and get on the pitch and represent them in a competitive game was honestly a dream come true.
Interesting. So you have also played for the Japan's under-19 team in the 2022 Maurice Revello Tournament. Can you tell us what was that experience like and what was that wearing that blue jersey? What was that feeling as well?
Oh, honestly, a great feeling. I made my debut in the second group game. I came on for the last 35 minutes. It was against African team Comoros.
Comoros,
And
yes.
yes, I was very, very nervous going into the game, definitely. But like I said, I tried not to think about the occasion. I just tried to think, look, it's a new game. It's a different game. Let's focus on my task and let's try and play as well as I can, try and be solid. Which I felt I did quite well in the game as well. Coming on, it's never easy when you come onto the pitch because you need to adjust to the speed of the game and stuff like that. But I felt like I did well. But yeah, definitely, it was an amazing honor to wear the famous blue jersey. But yeah, a lot of feelings going into my debut. But what a great experience it was.
Interesting. Prior to the tournament, you were being selected during that selected. Tell us, how was that excitement like? Was that like a sigh of relief, or what was that excitement that you named in the squad in the 19?
So they had contacted me about maybe 8 months before the tournament. They had contacted me saying that I'm on the radar and they want to come and watch one of my games. So they sent one of their European-based Japanese scouts to come watch one of my games in the under-18s Premier League. And firstly, I mean, that game was pretty nerve-wracking, like having someone there to watch you and obviously just watch you only. It was very nerve-wracking, but I felt I did quite well in that game and was able to impress him, which is the most important thing. Yeah, the excitement, I probably got told a month before the tournament that I was going to be selected. And obviously it got released 2 weeks before, but you get told a month before. And it was just full of excitement and just, a lot, obviously nerves, you want to do well, especially if you're playing for your country, you don't want to let them down. But, a lot of excitement, meeting some new teammates and getting to know people and just looking forward to such a prestigious tournament because it is a really, really famous tournament, the Maurice Revello, or what it was called, Toulon tournament before. So it was just a lot of excitement.
Interesting. And how is it like playing with these J League youngsters like Rikuyama Nation, Nakano, Jiro Nakamura? How was that experience like and playing with them?
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. It's I was playing a year up as well, so I'm 2004 born, so the team was a 2003 born. So a lot of these players have a lot of experience already playing in the J League. I've at the moment I've never made a senior appearance for Blackburn. I'm just playing under 21s in the under 21 Premier League. So to then play with players who have had a lot more experience playing in the senior football, especially in the J League, it's good because you learn a lot from them. You can watch them and learn a lot from them, and especially the ones who are in your position. You sort of pick up little things that they do and try and implement it to your game. And also just training with them every day. These guys are really, really high level, technically really, really high level. So just to be training with them, the 2 weeks I had there, I had played 2 games, but training every day, it was fantastic.
Interesting. What was Japan's under-19s team's objective in that tournament? Like,
So the actual tournament itself was a little bit differently structured because there was different teams of different age groups. So our team was obviously I'm 2004, but we had a 2003 team. But some teams brought a 2002 team, some teams brought a 2001 team, some teams brought a 2003 team. So we knew physically it was going to be tough right from the start. The teams in our group, I think both Algeria and Comoros brought a 2001, 2002 team. So they're already older than us. So they have maybe physically stronger and maybe more experience. But I think the goal was always to win the tournament. But I think for us it was just to try and go as far as we can and just try and make sure we play good football and also win games. That's the most important thing when it comes to tournaments.
interesting. How was it like trained under the former players of the Japanese players like Atsuto Uchida and Yoshikatsu Kawaguchi? They were actually part of the support staff. How was that experience like, and what was the learning with them?
No, it was great because their knowledge, they've been there and done that. They've had fantastic careers playing in Europe. So there's no better people to learn than those guys. So little bits of advice you can get, even if it's just the smallest of things, it can help a lot. So, especially with Uchida, who is also a right back like myself, it was fantastic asking him questions and he gave me bits of advice of how to work, what to do in certain scenarios. So it was just, I took a lot out of it. And, not just from learning from my teammates, but also the support staff and my coaches were fantastic.
And plus, he had a very great career in Germany as well. He's played for lots of German clubs.
Yes,
And what was it like first time meeting with him? Like, what was that reaction?
It was good. It was surreal. I mean, I remember watching him in the World Cups and, watching him on the TV when I was, a young boy. But like I said, the most important thing was not to let the occasion take over. So yeah, it was fantastic meeting him. I've watched him on TV so much. He's some player that I look up to. But I thought, look, he's my coach, so I need to treat him like a coach, not like an idol. So I need to listen to what he says, but not get taken away by who he is. He's someone who's extremely knowledgeable and I can learn from. But I needed to make sure I concentrate on what I can learn from him.
Interesting. So now we are going to play a game which is known as the players' names. So I'm just going to say some of the players, which you just have to mention like what experience did you had with them, what just like something memories that comes to your mind with the under 19 team. So you're ready? All right. So the first person is Rikuyama.
Oh, Riku was very good. He's obviously a centre midfielder, but technically he's fantastic. He reads the game very well, and his vision and his passing ability is fantastic. So yeah, I remember him. I got along with him very, very well. He was very nice to me and very welcoming, and yeah, he was a very nice guy.
Shinya Nakano.
Shinya had about over 50 J League appearances at the time in the tournament, and he was playing right back as well. So just watching him and learning from what he does and little things that he does, it was great for me to watch him and try and learn a bit from his game and learn how he does. And also, especially if you're on the bench and you think you might be coming on, you have to watch the player in your position before you come on because you need to read what he does so you can adjust better and quicker to the game. So I was watching him a lot, especially just in case I had to come on. And the one game I had to come on against Comoros, obviously he was playing right back. I sort of studied what he was doing in the game. So when I come on, I can adjust quicker to the game because I know what to expect already.
Okay, so next is Roya Kimura. I'm sorry if I'm just
Goalkeeper, yeah, no, really, really good. I mean, how it works in Japan is like some players go have clubs, and then some players are from university. So university players are also very, very high level. The university level in Japan is it's similar to like the America, but the university football is fantastic over there. So all three of our goalkeepers were from university, and he was really, really good. Made some great saves in the games and kept us going. So yeah, really good player.
I recall he was also been awarded the best goalkeeper also during the tournament. He was in the 11,
Yeah,
I guess.
he made great saves, and he saved a lot of opportunities for the opponent. So he kept us in the game quite a bit, which is good. And what you need from your goalkeeper, especially.
Okay. Next is Jiro Nakamura.
Jiro is good. He plays for Gamba Osaka, so he's got a really, really good left foot. He's only very small, but he's really, really agile and fantastically technical.
Next is Nico Takahashi.
Yeah, Nico, like me, he's obviously half Japanese, and he plays left back. He's obviously really, really good. Obviously, he plays for Barcelona, as you'd expect. Technically, he's fantastic. He's got a great left foot, and obviously, he reads the game very, very well as too.
And last but not least, Rio Nita.
Yeah, Rio is striker. He's good. He's good because he's big. It's something that you don't necessarily see in Japanese players for them to be pretty big. So I'm physically very strong. So to have a striker like that, it was fantastic to have a striker, but and also very good in front of goal as well. If you give him a chance, he'll score. So physically strong player and very good technically as well in front of goal.
So just like who was the most funniest in the team?
I mean, there was a
Friendly.
few. There was a few, funny ones. I mean, there was one that sticks to my mind. Taishin Yamazaki. He was very funny. I mean, every team has a joker in their team, don't they? So yeah, he was probably the.
So now the next year the Asia Cup is going to come, the Under-20 Asia Cup, which is the road for the 2021's FIFA Under-20 World Cup going to be held in Indonesia. So are you expected to be called back again by your manager?
I mean, I don't want to speculate. All I can do now is just try and work hard and try and keep performing well for my club, and hopefully that call up comes. If it doesn't, then fine. I have to work harder. But I can't speculate whether I'm going to get called up or not, and I don't really like to think too much about if I'm going to get called up or not. I just do what I have to do, which is work hard and try and develop, and hopefully I get called up, which would be great.
And plus, that is also the can be an audition for the 2024 Olympics as well, because most of the players can be a part of it. So can you do you be also expected in the squad? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, once again, that would be great. But I don't like to look too much in the long term. I focus more on short term. So hopefully, like I said, if I can keep working hard, keep performing well, and keep, hopefully achieve more things at a club level, hopefully the international follows through as well. But like I said, I don't always like to think, praying for international all the time. It's I just got to focus on what I can control.
So during the Maurice tournament, so you were the only non-J Leaguers in the team, or what was it? They had the other couple of players.
Me, Nico, and Rio.
Okay. So what is your upcoming session for the Blackburn Rovers? Like, what is your short-term and long-term goals for Blackburn career?
Yeah, so this season has been a little bit difficult. I've had quite a few injuries this year, which has been a bit frustrating. But injuries are part of football, so you just need to keep building back from them. I had a really good run of games. I had about 10 games in a row where I played, and we played against. We beat Man City, we beat Man United, and we had some really, really good results. But obviously, I've been injured again. Definitely, like I said, I don't really work on long term, but short term it's for me is just developing myself as much as I can. Trying to make most of every single day, trying to develop every day, always working hard. I would like to try and get out on loan at some point. That's important as well. Playing some senior football, getting that experience, which is really crucial. especially before trying to get into the first team. I think it's maybe playing, like youth, no, not youth, sorry, like non-league or senior men's football for that experience as well, because you take a lot out of it. There's a lot of traits and stuff that you can learn from playing with adults, as opposed to younger players or similar players to your age. So that's definitely what I like to do.
Awesome. What do you think, and plus what does comes to your mind, which is the best Japan kit ever, from the home or away? Which is your most favorite kit?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, like, I've given quite a few answers before on this, but I mean, the white kit that we had this time round was spectacular. I thought it was really, really nice. It was
This year's you're
the
talking about, or the last year?
it might have been last year, yeah. But the kit that
The
we wore
full.
for the white kit was really, really nice. But I think when it comes to Japan and kits, you have to always give a blue, the home national kit, which is the iconic kit. So I would probably say like the World Cup 2010 or 2014 was probably my favorite.
Yes, even I love. Actually, even I had that 2014 kit as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's my favorite as well, because the red stripes and all that was amazing.
Actually, the 2018 World Cup one was spectacular as
Yes.
well. Pattern in the shirts as well. It was really beautiful. Like I said, the blue shirt every year is spectacular. It's really, really beautiful. But definitely, like I said, the white kit was also very nice as well. But yeah, definitely the blue kits for the World Cups has always been fantastic.
Awesome. A J League club would you like to play in the future? Which is your most favorite team, and would you like to play with them?
Yeah, my team I support in Japan is a team called Cerezo Osaka. They play in pink.
Yeah, it's
Where,
also.
where my family originates from in Japan is Osaka. So definitely, I've always my family sort of supports Cerezo Osaka. So yeah, I've been to watch some of their games as well. So it would be fantastic to play them. And like I always say, I always keep my options open to play in Asia. So, I mean, maybe towards the end of my career, if I have a decent career here in the UK or Europe, I'd love to play in Asia. Maybe if it doesn't quite work out over here, maybe I would go back to Asia and try and play there. But it's definitely a fantastic and very exciting opportunity to go and play in Asia. And the thing is with myself is, I took a big risk myself to come over to the UK myself. So I'm not afraid to go anywhere to play football. If they present a fantastic opportunity, I wouldn't be scared. I wouldn't be nervous to go over to a different country and try and live there and play football. So that really does excite me. I have lots of options, which is great.
Interesting. What is your favorite Japan memory growing up as a kid? Like the matches which you have seen, or your
Good
favorite
question.
players?
Good question. I remember the group stage of the 2014 World Cup. In the first game, they played
Yeah.
against
Ivory
Colombia.
Coast.
It was Colombia. This is 2014.
Yeah, Ivory Coast. That was the first match.
No, I think that the first match that was 2010.
2010. Then
2010 World Cup was Ivory Coast. I think 2014 was Colombia. They won 2-1 against Colombia.
no,
And
that was 18. That was 18. 2018 was against Colombia. 14 we
right,
lost against.
yeah,
Sorry.
2018 group stage was Colombia first game. Yeah, sorry. And yeah, I remember I was in my school in my boarding house and I was watching it with all my friends. And I remember when Japan scored the first goal penalty, we were just
Yes.
all excited, and even my friends who aren't even Japanese, we were all celebrating together. And I mean, those memories stick with me for a long time. Like supporting country and that was just a really fantastic moment. But I mean, Japan have had some fantastic. I mean, I remember they beat Denmark in 2010 World Cup and they
Yes.
scored goals. I don't know if you remember the Keisuke Honda free kick goal from like 40
Yes,
yards away.
that was amazing. That was super.
They've had some fantastic wins in the World Cup. Even the World Cup that just went, they were so unlucky not to beat Croatia. I thought they were the much better team against
Yes.
Croatia. And it
Yes.
would have been,
Yes.
I think they would have given Brazil a really, really good game had they won
Yeah.
against.
Yes.
Oh,
Even
but
as for I remember when this year's World Cup, one match was against Germany, and it was
yes,
1-0 by Germany. I thought it was game over, but when Ritsu Duan came, game changed. And after that couple of minutes, 2-1, I was just like, I just screamed. I was like, shit, I was so happy, like something good. I was so happy for that time.
I
And
think
then
like
in the second match against Costa Rica, that was my first ever live experience watching that game. And sadly,
yeah,
we lost that 1-0.
yeah.
But that
I think
last, yeah,
the best thing, yeah, and the management as well is they made the right substitutions at the right times, which shows just how important the substitutions are. Like I said, the first game against Germany, the two players who scored for Japan both were substitutes who came on.
yes.
So it was perfect timing and good substitutions by the manager. Obviously, the second game, like I said, a bit disappointing, but the win against Spain was fantastic.
Yes, that was the goal against that Winston, which he scored that goal. That was epic. And
Yeah.
when the full time came, I was in a tears for that. Yes, okay. So what are your predictions for Japan at the Asia Cup, which is going to be held in Qatar?
Yeah, Asia Cup and Qatar, obviously they're the big favourites, aren't they? So, I think they want to go in and win. I think the goal is for them is to go and win. And I think, judging from the previous World Cup that's just gone, they've shown that they are the strongest team in Asia. So I think they'll go and win.
And next is who is your favorite ever Japanese and the current or the past best Japanese player ever, which you most admire and you're a fan of him?
I think like there's a few, but for me, I look more of it from a footballing perspective. So players who are in that position. I think like one who's a bit of a legend and still plays, Maya Yoshida. I think for a Japanese defender to play in the Premier League for 10 years, I think it's
Yes.
fantastic. It's an amazing achievement. And he was really, really successful with Southampton. And even now, age 34, 35, he's still playing at the highest level. So, definitely someone like him, I really look up to. Currently, Tomiyasu, also a right back playing in the Premier League. I like to watch him a lot and try and learn from him. But they've had some fantastic players over the years, like Nakata and Keisuke Honda. I always loved watching Keisuke Honda. But the one thing about Japan which I like the most is that that it's not an individual thing, it's a team. And a lot of teams, and you can see from the World Cup, a lot of teams are very individual, and that's why they struggle. But I think Japan, the best thing about Japan is that they are always united as a team, and they always play well as a team, and they always work hard for each other. So that's the best thing about Japan. So I think picking one individual player, yeah, there's some fantastic players who I just named who have played for Japan, but the whole philosophy of Japan, I think, is teamwork and working together as a team and working really, really hard, and that's why they can always outrun the opponent and outwork the opponent. And I think definitely Germany and Spain, they were really overwhelmed with how hard Japan worked in the game, and how the press was really, really good, and how they didn't give Germany and Spain any time on the ball. So those things really stand out.
So we just don't have any much time. So let's go to a couple of questions before we wind up. What is the position that you wish you'd been played?
Oh, the position I wish I played. To be fair, from a young age, I've played more or less every single position besides goalkeeper. But obviously now for the last 3 years, I've been playing right back. But definitely, I'd love to play striker. I'd love to score all the goals. That would be fantastic for me. I don't really score that many goals too often, being a defender. But definitely, if I was a striker, I think I'd enjoy it a lot.
Right. Moving on. Since the next World Cup is going to be held in USA, Canada, and Mexico, what do you think of Japan going to the quarterfinals, or what's your prediction?
I think
If they can
definitely
qualify?
World Cup has shown like the group that Japan was in was named the group of death,
Yes.
but it showed that Japan were able to qualify from that group and then also look fantastic as well. So I think now they've shown that even if they're put in a tough group, they can still compete with the best teams in the world and win games. So I think definitely it's about time that they get to the quarterfinals. So I definitely think the next one they'll be even stronger.
Awesome. All right. Just before we finish, we are going to play a game, a faster round game, where I'm going to ask some questions. You just have to say it very fast. So you're ready for it? All right. So the first question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live?
Bangkok, Thailand.
Cats or dogs?
Neither. I'm scared of both.
Okay. DC or Marvel?
Oh, probably Marvel. I'm not too big of a fan of that type of stuff, but yeah, probably Marvel.
If you're not become a footballer, then what you have become?
Oh, this is a great question. There's quite a lot of things. Like agency is something that I'm interested in, like management. Even like stuff like becoming a pilot, stuff like that. That really, a lot of like traveling stuff does fascinate me a lot.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, I love to fly.
All right. And the final is, what would your legacy to be? Like when you're gone from this friend, what do you want your legacy to be?
You know, this is a really good question because, you know, I like I said, I don't really look at long-term goals, so I've never really thought of this. But you know, obviously, everyone wants their legacy to be fantastic. Of course, I want my legacy to be fantastic. You know, but you know, definitely for myself, I don't really look at what other people think of myself. It's more what I want to achieve within myself. So I think for me, like, you know, if when I retire, hopefully after a long career, it's more like, you know, I was able to be successful. I was able to make good money to then move on to other business interests, and you know, I was able to enjoy my career. That's the most important thing for me, is to be able to enjoy my career. So when you ask me about legacy, it's very difficult to answer. Obviously, I want a fantastic legacy. I'd love to represent my country. I'd love to have lots and lots of caps. I'd love to, you know, play at clubs for a long time and become a club legend. But for me personally, it's more like, you know, making sure I just have an enjoyable career and I enjoy my career.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jay. Jay, it was a great privilege to have with you on our show, and please taking your time as well.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
If you before you leave, where can the people can find you on social media? Like if they want to connect with you or follow with you.
Yeah, social media, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram is probably the most important one. It's just my name on Instagram, my full name. So yeah.
So you can follow me on Instagram as pratmasurkar_18, and you can follow us on Instagram and Order of the Grid, on Facebook, YouTube, and also on YouTube. Make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Once again, thank you so much, Jay. We wish you all the best for your upcoming career, and we hope to see you in the under-20 team, hopefully, and also for the national team in the future, if you got a chance. Thank you so much, Jay, and wishing you a happy new year.
Yeah, thank you very much. To you as well.
Thank you. This is Prathamesh Masukar from Order of the Grid signing off. Thank you. Bye-bye.